Hi everyone, how are you? Hey, it's been a little while since I've posted some of my statistics. There's been a couple videos that I've created about a Christmas tree project that I'm spearheading. I hope you'll watch that and hope you'll want to get interested and get involved in that. I've had a couple of videos about some ramblings about different things about this whole decluttering, decreasing process. But I haven't given you statistics, and when I came to my notebook with my recordings, it looks like it's been a month since I chatted about my statistics. So while I gather my notes here, I would love it if you would click that subscribe button. I'm trying to increase the number of subscribers because if I'm understanding the algorithms, if you click subscribe and I have more people subscribe, more people can jump in on our conversation. So I hope you'll do that. And if you like the video at the end, please click like too. So since the last time I gave statistics, I'm going to give the overall statistics and then I'll break them down and give you some clues on what I've been up to. I have given away 121 items. I've thrown away 600. Now there's one that I'm going to give a little explanation to. Used up 14. And for the first time I have a new statistic. I actually sold 3 items. So I will chat about that. So breaking some of those numbers down. Now 600 items you threw away, Kathleen. What's with that? So I've started into my file cabinets. I knew that was going to be a big project, but I didn't realize that I would get stymied. The first 2 file drawers went pretty easily. They're bill drawers. They're old bills. You know, I don't need, my bills from several years ago. So those went. That stack of items from those 2 file drawers equaled 10 inches. I did not count the number of pages. I tried to give myself a summary of how many topics, concepts, sections, whatever they were. And I came up with a number, and I think it's conservative. I don't think I overshot my number of 300 items. Numbers of sheets of paper, I bet there was 1,000 or more. But I didn't want to count each sheet of paper. That's not what this is about. This is about clearing out significant items out of my home. So between the folders, the hanging files, the individual sheets of paper and whatnot, I guesstimated about 300. So also during that first time period, I got rid of 13 expired pantry items. Now that's kind of a little, I don't like to throw away food. I paid money for it. I should have used it. I didn't rotate well. This is one of the reasons I want to declutter. How many times have you or I know I have gone to the store, I thought, oh, do I have ketchup? I better buy a ketchup. Of course, because, I'm a mother of a large family. I never buy a ketchup. I always buy 2 ketchups. Even though we're now empty nesters, I still buy multiples. I come home and I see 4 ketchup already on the shelf. Now, ketchup's going to get used up at our house pretty easily. My family likes ketchup. But that kind of thing happens. Do I have this or that? I don't know because I've got maybe just too much stuff. So I did have 13 expired pantry items. So that was kind of a bummer. In my giveaway, I've gone through the DVDs. I've asked my kids which ones they've won. 30 DVDs were given away. 18 CDs were given away. I gave away some nice folders and some nice hanging folders. 2 clipboards and 2 bras went in the giveaway pile that particular week. Also that week, or at least posted under, the 16th week of my work here, I used up a Bath and Body lotion and I've used up 5 skeins of yarn. How about that? And one other thing that I put in the decrease there was, it doesn't look like I put it in my total. I pulled out a project of yarn. I had started a mini pumpkin a couple years ago in fingering weight yarn. So those of you that are my knitting friends, you know that that's very thin yarn, and it was going to be a very small pumpkin. Last fall, when I put out my fall decorations, I noticed I do already have a lot of knitted pumpkins. So when I looked at this project and I looked at and mentally calculated how much time it was going to take to finish that, I decided, no, I'm not going to do that with that particular yarn. I pulled it out and I have that yarn now for probably a pair of socks. And I also am returning a potential project. It was a project that somebody asked if I wanted to jump in on. Initially, I thought I did, but as I'm, calculating my knitting, creating creative hobby time, that was something that I wasn't going to take on. So that's going to be in the give back pile, but I haven't gotten to that. So then I come to my next sheet of paper where I've got all my notes, very, very good note taking here. I had in the giveaway pile, I gave away a bowl, 2 bags of filler for projects. I have 20 knitting needles on here. Now the knitting needles went out the house, but then the group that I was chatting with, we got an idea and I've brought them back. They haven't gotten out of the back of my van yet, or back of my SUV yet. So it might still not be a project that I take on. I'm starting to really try and weigh, I only have so much time, and trying to weigh my time against what I want to do. So I may or may not make the items that somebody thought of for a creative use for old knitting needles. I had some embroidery thread that was given away, 2 light fixtures, some holiday decoration, a yoga mat, and a pasta maker. Another use up was 5 more skeins of yarn. So now I'm at a total of 10 skeins of yarn. You're like, what have you been up to, Kathleen? I'm knitting a lot. I'm crocheting a lot right now. So just a lot of yarn going through my fingers and off the needles and off the hooks, and there we go. Since I commented on my throwaways from the pantry, I'm going to go ahead and count 2 bags of half-used marshmallows in my use-up category. Typically, I'm not recording those kind of things just because, food's meant to be used up, meant to be eaten. But I had 2 half-used bags of marshmallows, probably from doing s'mores last summer, up at the bonfire. And I wasn't going to throw them away. I thought, I'm going to make Rice Krispie treats with them. Now, if you follow me on Facebook, you probably saw my post that said, for the life of me, I cannot make Rice Krispie treats. That's one of my my kitchen fails. I never make good marshmallow treats. And I think I know why. Because I don't use fresh marshmallows. I only and always use marshmallows that are as hard as rocks. And so they don't melt quite as well. But here's my cure. I've got my Rice Krispie treats. Brad and I've taste tested them. If you drown them in chocolate chips and melt the chocolate chips, marshmallow treats saved. So everything's better with chocolate, right? So anyhow, I used up 2 bags of marshmallows. My 3 items that I sold, and hence the title of this particular podcast, is a stove got sold. So for those of you that are friends with me and have followed me on Facebook, you probably remember my lamented post about my stove. I had a wonderful workhorse stove that conked out the week of my daughter's wedding. And that week I still had about 20 pounds of pasta to cook. I had cupcakes to bake for the cupcake table. I had a lot of things that had to be done with the stove, and the stove had just said, you know what? I'm pooped, I'm worn out. So we replaced the stove with a nice stove. It was, really a very nice stove, and it did the job, but boy, did I miss my big old workhorse stove. Well, about a month and a half ago, I think it's about that long, my daughter tags me in a post of a stove exactly like the stove that I have been working on for the last 27 years. And I was thrilled. And so I messaged Brad and he said, when are we gonna go get it? So we went and got this new to me stove, but it's as old as my other one was. I hope, let's see if we can get this to, there we go. New to me stove, but it's as old as my other one was. But it's back here in my kitchen, and I feel like my kitchen has reset. My kitchen is back to its normal feel with this big old stove here, and I'm just tickled with it. But the stove that we had purchased and used for a year and a half got sold. What happened when Brad put this stove into place, he posted that other stove on Facebook Marketplace, and he thought, oh, we'll just let it sit in the living room until somebody buys it. Well, it didn't sell right away. So we had this stove sitting in the living room. And after a while, just like so much clutter, I didn't really notice it. You know, I think, seriously, Kathleen, how do you miss a stove in your living room? But it's our front room. We don't use it all the time. We have a family room that we spend most of our evening time in. But I could see it from the kitchen. I could see it as I walked into my office. So I noticed it, but not noticed it. How much clutter or stuff or items do we have in our house that we notice, but we don't notice? And maybe that's the stuff you've been clearing out. Most of my stuff is put away. It's neatly put in the cupboard or in a tote or whatever. And there is some of it that sits out. That was the easy clutter to get rid of. Now I'm, still processing the tucked away, organized clutter. But that stove sitting in the front room, I got used to seeing it there. Well, the day after we sold it, I noticed as I walked to my office, it's like, oh, wow, that room looks nice and clear and clean and neat. And it really made me think about this whole concept of how much clutter or stuff do we have sitting around that we no longer even really notice because it's just sitting there. Now, yeah, a stove in your living room, you notice, and you notice when it's not there. But if you take 5 minutes, wander around your house today and really look through your house and see what you don't usually see. And after you do that, give me a comment here, or again, if we're friends on Facebook, you can comment, underneath this post on Facebook. But it'd be interesting if you take a few minutes and walk around and notice what you haven't been noticing. And maybe you notice a spot that you'd really like to start on decluttering this week and put it in your calendar. I'm going to work on that spot this week. So when I look at my totals for, since the last time I gave you statistics, I didn't mention, I have one more thing. I'm sorry about that. I had another file cabinet that I cleaned out. I got 3 more drawers done. From those 3 drawers, I had a 10-inch tall stack of paper, documents, folders, etc. that I chose to throw away. So I'm adding that also into my list at another 200 items. So again, there could have been, if I was going by the pages, it was probably going to be another 1,000 pages, but I don't want my 5,700 decrease to be, 2,000 pieces of paper. I want it to be some significant decreasing here. So I just kind of tried to create a number of how many, maybe stapled sections or stapled group of papers I had. So that was that other number. That's how I'm getting to my 745 items for this posting. So what does that give me total? Total since I started this in October, I'm at 2,231 items decreased. That's a big number. That has me shy of halfway, but I'm well on my way. Well, shy of a third. Ooh, I'm only about a third of the way through. That's okay. I'm only about a third of the way through. I'm at week 16, 17. So I've still got lots of time. I'm heading towards those tough sections. I have one more file drawer, and I was actually going to do a video for you about how I'm processing through this paperwork, and that is not a file drawer for me to go through quickly. I came across articles I had written for a newsletter. I came across a beautiful Mother's Day card from my mother. I came across notes that I had kept from classes that I'd taken and Brad and I had taken together. I came across things for my kids. So that didn't end up being a good example of how I'm processing through, because I was probably not processing through very many. I was having a lot of connection time to things that are from the years gone by. I was making decisions about, passing things on to the kids, like, just different items that, oh, they would like this, or this was for them. So I didn't end up doing that video. I have that one more file drawer to go through, and then I'm probably going to start heading into my sewing stuff, and that's going to be a big project also. It's another one of those ones where I'm going to have to calculate how do I want to itemize what I'm passing on or what have you. I'm probably going to do it by yards. So if I give away a 5-yard piece of fabric, then that's going to be 5 items gone. I have to finalize all that. But all right. So I am so glad I took these few minutes to get on and chat with you today. I'm going to wrap up this video. Usually the day I make the video, I try and get it posted, but I just looked at the clock and I need to be leaving here in less than 20 minutes to get to my women's event. So I won't probably be posting this today because when I get home, I've got to finalize the meal that I'm putting on. So hopefully by Tuesday, I get this posted. All right, until I see you next time, many, many blessings. Enjoy your day and don't forget, walk around, see what you see in your house and let me know how you did. Bye-bye.